Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another essay. This one is also by Christopher Morley, much like the one I did last week. If you missed that one, I'll go ahead and link to it in the description down below. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video after you watch it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It does help the channel quite a bit. So the way I do these videos is evolving as I do them. This is the second one. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. There's not going to be an outro, so we're going to go right from this intro into my narration of the essay, and there's just going to be some miscellaneous graphics on the screen. I won't be on the screen for the narration. Did the narration with my Blue Yeti mic in GarageBand, and I was going for kind of a more low-key, almost NPR style sound. And the reason for not having the outro is if you are using this to help get you to sleep, which I've been told my voice can do. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, but if that's what you're using the video for, that's fantastic. But I didn't want to have an outro with, music and volume changes or anything like that. So yeah, let me know what you think of the new format in the comments down below. And without further ado, this is On Laziness by Christopher Morley. Today, we rather intended to write an essay on laziness, but were too indolent to do so. The sort of thing we had in mind to write would have been exceedingly persuasive. We intended to discourse a little in favor of a greater appreciation of indolence as a benign factor in human affairs. It is our observation that every time we get into trouble, it is due to not having been lazy enough. Unhappily, we were born with a certain fund of energy. We have been hustling about for a number of years now, and it doesn't seem to get us anything but tribulation. Henceforward, we are going to make a determined effort to be more languid and demure. It is the bustling man who always gets put on committees, who is asked to solve the problems of other people and neglect his own. The man who is really, thoroughly, and philosophically slothful is the only thoroughly happy man. It is the happy man who benefits the world. The conclusion is inescapable. We remember a saying about the meek inheriting the earth. The truly meek man is the lazy man. He is too modest to believe that any ferment and hubbub of his can ameliorate the earth or assuage the perplexities of humanity. O. Henry said once that one should be careful to distinguish laziness from dignified repose. Alas, that was a mere quibble. Laziness is always dignified. It is always reposeful. Philosophical laziness, we mean. The kind of laziness that is based upon a carefully reasoned analysis of experience. Acquired laziness. We have no respect for those who are born lazy. It is like being born a millionaire. They cannot appreciate their bliss. It is the man who has hammered his laziness out of the stubborn material of life for whom we chant praise and alleluia. The laziest man we know, we do not like to mention his name as the brutal world does not yet recognize sloth at its community value, is one of the greatest poets in this country, one of the keenest satirists, one of the most rectilinear thinkers. He began life in the customary hustling way. He was always too busy to enjoy himself. He became surrounded by eager people who came to him to solve their problems. "It's a queer thing," he said sadly. "No one ever comes to me asking for help in solving my problems. Finally, the light broke upon him. He stopped answering letters, buying lunches for casual friends and visitors from out of town. He stopped lending money to old college pals and frittering away his time on all the useless minor matters that pester the good-natured. He sat down in a secluded cafe with his cheek against a seidel of dark beer and began to caress the universe with his intellect. The most damning argument against the Germans is that they were not lazy enough. In the middle of Europe, a thoroughly disillusioned, indolent, and delightful old continent, the Germans were a dangerous mass of energy and bumptious push. If the Germans had been as lazy, as indifferent, and as righteously laissez-faire-ish as their neighbors, the world would have been spared a great deal. People respect laziness. If you once get a reputation for complete, immovable, and reckless indolence, the world will leave you to your own thoughts, which are generally rather interesting. Mind your business is a good counsel, but mind your idleness also. It's a tragic thing to make a business of your mind. Save your mind to amuse yourself with. The lazy man does not stand in the way of progress. When he sees progress roaring down upon him, he steps nimbly out of the way. The lazy man doesn't, in the vulgar phrase, pass the buck. He lets the buck pass him. We have always secretly envied our lazy friends. Now we are going to join them. We have burned our boats, or our bridges, or whatever it is that one burns on the eve of a momentous decision. Writing on this congenial topic has roused us up to quite a pitch of enthusiasm and energy.